This is Mulligan's 2 Podcast. I'm Terry David Mulligan. Thank you for joining us. I hope you subscribed on Spotify, Google Play, or Apple Podcasts. It all helps spread the word. There's a singer-songwriter in our world called Mary Gauthier. A couple of months ago, she released her 10th album, Rifles and Rosary Beads. It was named the best album of the year at the International Folk Awards in 2019. Been nominated for a Grammy for this album. Her first major label release was called Mercy Now, and it was top 10 at the end of the year by the New York Times, the LA Times, the Daily News, Billboard. And the song Mercy Now helped Mike Ferris to win the Grammy in 2014 for Best Roots Album. Rifles and Rosary Beads came out of a movement to put songwriters and veterans together. Female veterans and wives of veterans. Mary Gauthier began collaborating with veterans for the Songwriting with Soldiers program, but she had to confront her biases. As she says in the interview, I'm a leftist, liberal lesbian. I had no attachment to the military. And all you want to do when you're with them is not to sink. And even though we're talking about American veterans and American wives of soldiers lost, on average, every day in the United States of America, 22 veterans commit suicide, which is what drove Mary Gauthier to work with the Songwriting with Soldiers program. Mary always thought that soldiers were straight white men in the NRA. She said I was truly wrong, absolutely wrong, about who they were and what their makeup was. She's now got many friends through this work with veterans, and it's coming back full circle to her because Mary admitted in this interview that she's a drinker. She hasn't had a drink in many, many, many years. And so she can identify with the veterans that she's talking to and the pits that they've fallen into. They write songs, 3 and 2 days. And these are the songs that she came up with after listening to their stories. Mary Gauthier, featured on Mulligan's 2 Podcast. This recording took place at the 2019 Edmonton Folk Music Festival. Would you welcome, please, to the stage, Mary Gauthier. Please introduce your orchestra.
Yes. To my right, the maestro from Brescia, Italy. This is Michele Gazic. To my left, Tater. Jamie Harris, Waco, Texas. Songwriter, singer, harmony singer, guitarist. This is my crew.
Now, this might be just a small aside, but how important is that harmony to your songs?
Well, I've been traveling alone for my whole career.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Having her with me brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
It gives me something to listen to besides myself. It makes me happy. It brings uplift. That it's like a moment of every time she comes in. It reminds me of how grateful I am to have accompanists that I can actually travel with and not throw out of the car.
Okay, very nice.
I get along with very few people, but I get along with these two like family.
And how is your Italian?
My Italian's terrible, but his English is brilliant.
Okay. Has this been a festival summer for you?
No, it's been a summer of writing a book for me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I sat all July in my writer's chair, pounding the typewriter.
As an exercise, having done that, I find you think you know what you're going to write about, but then if you let it, the book writes itself.
Well, kinda. I would agree with that. You think you know what you're going to write about, but I think that then you realize it's an endurance test. And the key to the entire process is don't quit. Keep climbing the mountain, and eventually the book will reveal itself.
Yes.
I don't know if it writes itself, but it starts to whisper who it is.
Well, you know the stories you want to tell.
I know the stories, but I don't know how they connect. Until they tell me, they just seem disjointed. And then they start to go, oh, this goes there, this goes there. And guess what? This happened because of that, which happened because of this. And it starts to make sense. But it really is a mountain climb. For a songwriter who's used to looking at one page, I'm on like 478 pages here. I can't remember 300 pages ago. So I've got a real learning curve here. Book writing for songwriters is like going to a place of too many words.
How much of your not sober years were forgotten or remembered?
The great thing about the not sober years is they were horrible. And I remember the stories of the terrible things that happened. And I remember that's why I got sober. That's why I got sober. That's why I got sober. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that again. And it led me to songwriting with a sense of desperation. I've always considered my songs lifesavers for myself. And so, thank you, sweetheart.
And others.
So I came into it with desperation, and I think that's one of the reasons they wanted me to write the book. It's called Saved by a Song, so saved from what? And that's what I'm writing about, and then the transformation happens somewhere after I picked up the guitar and started seeing that these things have buoyancy and they can hold me above the water.
Actually, it's a great book song. It's a song title. It's a philosophy that some people buy into, luckily very early on. But there is a absolutely swear you can bet on it that you can save a soul through music. You can heal, you can reveal, you can find the truth, and truth is everything.
I'm working on it still. I think what we find is each other. And we transcend the externals. We look at each other and look at our physical being and say, oh, I'm not like you because, and the list. But with songs, we go straight to the heart and we go, I am like you because I feel that way. Songs are what feelings sound like.
For example, Rifles and Rosemary Beads, Mary's latest. It's in the merch store. Okay? All right. This is not so much your story, but what was revealed to you with the soldiers?
Right, correct. These are all songs co-written with military veterans from every branch of the military and their wives.
Had you connected with military previously in your family?
No, and I didn't realize that was something I would even know how to do.
Right.
I'm a leftist, liberal lesbian. The natural place you'd see me wouldn't be sitting with soldiers, but I fit so perfectly there. And I love them so much because the songs transcend all those labels. Those labels are nothing when you're dealing with someone who has extreme trauma. All you want to do is help them not to sink. And I've been there. And so I know what it feels like, at least in my little way, to feel like you're drowning. And so my ability to sit and bear witness with someone who's in pain was increased by my own struggle. And so I love sitting with the veterans and helping them transcribe and put their story into song so that they can go, this is how I feel right here, this song. That's me.
They had to trust you.
It's a trust thing. It really is. It's a trust thing.
And you brought back that first song and you played it for them?
I listen to what they're saying. I find the music that sounds like what they're saying. I start putting what they say into a slight structure. I sing it to them. And I look and see if it's working. If it is working, I can see it, and we keep going until we build a song. The process takes about 2 hours.
I asked you what your first song was, and it's from the album. Which one?
We're going to play a song called Soldiering On. Wrote this with a female Marine, actually, who taught me this big lesson that I didn't understand. Why are so many of our veterans committing suicide? We're losing 22 a day, and I don't fully understand why we're losing so many. And the numbers are smaller in Canada, but proportionally, they're the same. Your veterans here in Canada are going through the exact same emotional struggle as our veterans in the U.S.
Damage is damage.
And war is war.
Yep.
And what she taught me as we sat to work on this song is that the training that makes you a good soldier is the exact behaviors that will get you in trouble as a civilian, shutting down your emotions.
Soldiering On. Mary Gauthier.
I was bound to something bigger, more important than a single human life. I wore the uniform with honor. My service was not a sacrifice. But what saves you in the battle can kill you at home. You don't fight for yourself. You fight for the ones by your side. And they do the same for you. And to live, you must be willing to die. What saves you in the battle can kill you at home. A soldier, soldier on. Suck it up, shut it down. It don't matter how you feel. Mission first, just drive on. A soldier is a cog in a saddle wheel. Up or down, all for one. The closest family I have known. A soldier, soldier on. I was bound to something bigger, more important than a single human life. I wore the uniform with honor. My service was not a sacrifice. But what saves you in the battle can kill you at home. A soldier, soldier on. I'm a soldier, soldier on.
Mary Gauthier, Rifles of Rosary Beads, Soldiering On, the first track on the album. It's at the merch tent. I want to just go back just a bit, because it leads to something for me, if you will, Mary.
Yes, sir.
I do a food and wine show as well. So what caught my attention early on was the fact that you had been a chef for 11 years?
Yeah, I went to chef school and learned how to run a restaurant and be a crazy lunatic in the kitchen putting food out for
Right.
people. Yeah, I did that for a while.
And did you love it?
I did.
Okay.
I fell out of love with it. I fell in love with it. It helped me as I got sober to just work off that energy. When you get sober, you realize, oh my God, days are long.
18-hour days.
Oh my God, like it's only 2 o'clock. what do people do? So when I got sober, I had a lot of energy and I was really high strung. And the restaurant business is perfect for that. So I just worked and worked and worked, and I worked off a lot of that early sobriety angst. Getting sober and working in a restaurant actually was a great thing for me. But I fell out of love with it when I fell in love with taking my story and turning it into songs and becoming a songwriter.
But I know how important songwriting and making music to you was, because you sold the restaurant to finance your second album.
I did, yeah.
Like, you took a big leap of faith.
It was like going off a high diving board at midnight and not knowing if there's water in the pool.
Do you remember what that second album was? Drag Queens and Limousines, absolutely correct. And off you went, and all hell broke loose.
I had a real good summer of the year of Drag Queens and Limousines. Yeah.
Well, does every summer have to be better than the last?
No, I don't think of it that way. I look at it like every day is an adventure. This is magic, that I'm standing here in front of people and playing these songs, and I feel like there's a path that I just have to stay on, and the next steps reveal themselves. I mean, I can't have a summer like last summer, this summer, and I can't next summer. Won't there's not a. It's a career, not a climb. It's a long. I'm in for the long haul.
Has a Grammy nomination made a difference for you?
Tangibly, I'm not sure. I think it's a validation that feels good. I think it gives something to my resume to say Grammy nominated. I'm not sure. What's weird about being there is we were both terrified to go. It's like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. There's Dolly Parton. There's, oh my God, Jennifer Lopez. Oh my God, Ricky Martin. Oh my God, oh my God. We're just so like, and we're these little folk singers, and like, oh God, we're sitting next to Weird Al. And it was just so surreal. And then we realized, wait a minute, these are human beings. Like, we have them on this giant pedestal as if they're more than human. They're human. It humanized the art form in a way for us and made it seem as though it's possible to be a member of that community. We are all members of the human race. It made it real, actually. It was beautiful to become part of a larger music community that I didn't know if I fit in, but I feel like I do.
I meant to ask you about the Edmonton Folk Festival. Voices you heard, people you saw on stage, surprises, delights, friends?
Well, we just got off the stage with Courtney Marie Andrews, and we just think she's one of the greatest voices coming up that I've ever heard. Jamie turned me on to her a little while ago. I think she's fantastic.
I made a note here on the back of a cab bill. Yesterday you were on stage 6 with, well, tell the folks.
Rose Cousins, Jason Isbell, and Amanda Shires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that fun?
Yeah, they're friends. I've known them for a long time.
Well, it's just to meet here, make music here, north of the border.
It's always fun to swap songs with great songwriters. It's just a real pleasure to be among your people and feel like just a renewed... the great thing about these side stages is we get to renew our friendships.
Exactly.
We live in the same town, but it's not like we go to their house and hang out. We see them at places where we play and renew the friendships. It's a wonderful homecoming. We come to Canada to have our homecoming.
All right, let's review. The book comes out when?
I don't know. I'm still working on it. I'm supposed to give them a manuscript by September. I think I may be able to do that. Then we'll do the edits. It'll probably be 2021.
Album?
I'm working on songs now. I've got about a half a record written, and I've got some ideas, but the book has taken so much time. I think the book is going to come and then the record. So.
But you have a new song for us today?
I got a brand new song. Well,
what's it called?
It's called World Unkind. Ever since the 2016 election, I feel as though it's gotten so mean out there. And the unkindness is just, it continues to astonish me how mean it is. And I can't even believe what we call dialogue today.
I'm going to ask you one more song, and I said I would do this yesterday. Yeah. The protest song. It was alive and well in the 60s and 70s, and it made a vast difference. Today, where is it? Does it have a place? Does it get played?
It's interesting. We just did a show with Emmylou Harris in Nashville to raise money for a Democratic candidate who's running for the Senate from Tennessee. He's the only Democrat. We're in a deep red state, and his chances are small, but we're we're fighting the good fight. His name's James Mackler. And Emmy actually brought that topic up, and she said, well, it looks like Mary and Steve Earle are the ones writing the protest songs. And I think the way that protest songs are written in the 2020s is different than the old school. I think we do it by telling the stories of characters from the inside, and you guys can take the meaning and gather that yourself. So we're not going to hit you over the head with this is, war is wrong, it's song, so much as we're going to tell you from what it feels like, and that is creating a deeper understanding so you can understand why there's a problem.
Thank you, Mary, for doing that. New music for Mary Gauthier.
Truck stop drunk, shouts the national anthem at a waitress pouring coffee with trembling hands, and the TV screen keep screaming, make America great again. And an old man facing hands weeping in a booth in the back alone. And a child says, Daddy, why is he crying? And her father grabs her hand and says, we're going home. Life, it sure gets lonesome. Love is hard to find. Truth gets lost in the telling. In a world that's turned unkind. The winter sun sets slowly on Salina. The Kansas winds blow bitter, meaning cold. I pay my bill, I steal myself and get back on the road. Life, it sure gets lonesome. Love is hard to find. Truth gets lost in a telling. In a world that's turned unkind.
How about that? How about that? Mary Gauthier on Mulligan Stew, CKUA. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us be on your show.
Thank you for being here. I hope somewhere, you're 3 weeks from now, you're just got your feet up and you can hear this on a podcast and go, that was good. That was good.
I look forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Take care of yourself. How about a hand, please, for the orchestra? Thank you. Thank you. The country edition of Rolling Stone magazine said about Mary Gauthier's Rifles and Rosary Beads, it is not only one of the most arresting American singer-songwriter records in recent years, but one of the most vital pieces of art to come out of those two wars. Mary Gauthier, her 10th album, is Rifles and Rosemary Beads. And those songs will go on. There will be more veterans. There will be more wives of veterans and more wars. She has found an audience in Canada and is welcomed to folk festivals, roots and blues festivals all across the country and now all around the world. Next week, J.D. Edwards, Cara Luft, better known as the Small Glories, have discovered something very special about the blending of their voices and their songs. Their latest album is called Assiniboine in Red, and we'll discover it and talk about that next week on Mulligan Stew Podcast, Music, Film, Food, and Wine. Thank you.